Giants are a notable race in One Piece, being a staple of the most powerful forces in the series. Although the world government has taken to recruiting their kind, they also have a consistent presence in pirate crews, forming their own or otherwise finding their way into others. Seeing as giants are physically far more powerful than humans, it is understandable why people would want to have them aboard, even if they may need a bigger ship for the privilege of doing so. Here's a look at the known crews who include giants among their members. Giant pirates with unknown crews, or giant criminals who are not strictly pirates, will not be listed. 7 giant warrior pirates captains, Dory and Broggy, formerly Gerald, and Jorel. This crew originates from the island Elbaf, and follows its customs of proud warrior duels. It appears to have a tradition of 2 captains at a time. Its 2 current captains, Dory and Broggy, have been called an ancient legend by some. They met the Straw Hats on the island of Little Garden, where they attempted a duel to the death to settle a dispute about who is bigger. The Straw Hats ultimately aided the pair after members of the Baroque works attempted to poach them. Dory and Broggy were later seen in Elbaf, helping Shanks defeat the Kid Pirates by destroying their ship, the Victoria Punk. Despite having returned to Elbaf to find sharper weapons, they appear to plan on resuming this duel at some point in the future. One of the crew's former captains, Jorel, was inadvertently killed by a young Charlotte Lean, who was raised in an orphanage on the island. This incident caused all giants to despise her, leaving them as one of the few races not represented in her territory. Other known crew members include Omo and Kashi, who were once tricked by the world government into serving them, before Usopp exposed their ruse. 6 new giant warrior pirates captain, Kudrudin. This pirate crew is made up of relatively young giants, who were mostly children at the time of Jorel's death. The most well-known member of their crew is the captain, Kudrudin, who competed at Kurita Coliseum for the Mera Mera no Mi. Despite his arrogant streak, he was grateful to the Straw Hat Pirates for saving them, holding up God Usopp so those rescued could view their savior. Kudrudin and his crewmates are former mercenaries for Buggy's delivery, and were considered the organization's most valuable members during its tenure. However, Kudrudin converted the team into a pirate crew so that he could join the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, an organization of pirates who were grateful to Luffy and wished to serve as his subordinates. Although Luffy treats them as more of an alliance, the fleet takes their subordinate status quite seriously. The new giant warrior pirates served as a spiritual revival to the recently reactivated new giant warrior pirates, who Kudrudin grew up idolizing. Kudrudin was not the only pirate of this crew to have previously crossed paths with the Straw Hats. Stanson, the crew's shipwright, was freed from a slave auction house by Silver's Rayleigh, when the Straw Hat Pirates were attacking the business. 5 Foxy Pirates, formerly Captain Foxy. The Foxy Pirates were a massive crew featuring a number of experienced pirates with special skills from various crews. A pirate of unclear origin from their crew is Big Pan, a Votan, who is half fishman and half giant. His giant physiology gives him a more humanoid appearance than his full-blooded fish man brethren. Pan is the only known Votan in the canon series. Big Pan was a participant in the Foxy Pirates' Davy Back fights, a tradition they used to poach crewmates from other crews who crossed their path. Pan was teamed up with Hamburg and Pickles for the Groggy Ring portion of one such Davy Back fight, where the trio competed against Zoro and Sanji. Despite the 3 having a much better relationship than the Straw Hat combatants, they ended up losing once the pair decided to get serious. Big Pan, along with a majority of the Foxy Pirates, has since parted ways with the crew, possibly being poached in a Davy Back fight himself. His former teammate, Hamburg, is one of the crew's 3 remaining members, as shown in the final saga. 4 Thriller Bark Pirates, formerly Captain Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria was a pirate of some renown before losing against Kaido, who killed every member of his crew except him. As a result, Moria instead decided to build a crew out of zombies, who he would feel less sentimental towards upon their deaths. This was successful for a time, as Moria was noticed enough to become a warlord, albeit not a particularly successful one. One of his most powerful zombies was Ors, an ancient giant reanimated with the shadow of Monkey D. Luffy. As an ancient giant, Ors is far bigger than even most giants. As a zombie, he also has an immunity to pain. However, this served as a detriment to some extent, since he was less aware of which body parts were damaged. After a continual beating from most Straw Hat pirates, Ors lost Luffy's shadow, which Moria used to empower himself with Shadow's Asgard. 3 Blackbeard Pirates Captain, Marshall D. Teach Blackbeard was once a member of the Whitebeard Pirates, before he betrayed one of his superiors and stole the devil fruit he retrieved. This was part of a long con on Blackbeard's part, to build up his ideal crew while drawing minimal attention to himself. At first, he only 4 crewmates, but after becoming a warlord, he used his privileges to pay a visit to Impel Down, a prison for the most notorious pirates. There, he made the prisoners at the lowest level fight each other to the death for the privilege of joining his crew. One survivor was San Yuan Wolf, a giant hailing from the West Blue. In terms of personality, Wolf seems somewhat innocuous compared to his crewmates. He has something of an aversion to fighting, and has yet to be seen actively participating in any battle. He was the only one not to participate in the assassination of Whitebeard. That said, he has no qualms about the crimes of his crewmates and continues to stay with them as they gain power. He is currently the sole giant among the 10 Titanic captains, the top officers of the Blackbeard Pirates. What makes Wolf frightening is his devil fruit, the Deka Deka no Mi, which turns him into the largest giant. Even his own crewmates are content to let him rest most of the time, due to the potential danger of awakening him. Wolf is capable of inadvertently leaving destruction in his wake, leading viewers to question how dangerous he is when he gets serious about fighting. 2 Little Pirates Captain, Little Ors Jr. This crew is one of many who served as subordinate crews to the Whitebeard Pirates. Their captain is Little Ors Jr., an ancient giant descended from Ors. He was friends with Ace, and like the majority of Whitebeard's forces, traveled to save him during the Summit War. The rest of the crew members are not giants, but rather normal-sized humans who imitate the appearance of their captain. They achieve this with fake jaws and wigs that imitate his flowing red hair. Like the majority of Whitebeard-affiliated crews and pirates, their status following the Summit War is not immediately known. 1 Beast's Pirates Captain, Kaido. The Beast's pirates were once considered one of the biggest threats to the world government. Their captain, Kaido, was always on the lookout to poach new talent and add it to his own crew. In addition to recruiting a number of former captains and their crews, Kaido purchased a group of artificial ancient giants hailing from Punk Hazard, which he deemed the Numbers. Although they managed to imitate the size and longevity of their counterparts, they were considered failures. In terms of appearance, they resemble ancient giants, though they often have more animalistic traits. Numbers aren't the smartest, and they have a tendency to drink, which reduces their physical strength. That said, they are still powerful compared to the grunts of the crew.